Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I've got some Halo 5 multiplayer beta gameplay and my initial impressions. The beta became playable on the 29th to anybody who has purchased the Halo Master Chief Collection on Xbox One. And as you can see, it's quite action-packed, especially for the fact that it's only 4v4 Team Slayer. This is a small amount of players, if you might think about it compared to other multiplayer games out there, but there is certainly no shortage of action, and the 4v4 environment allows you to have some really well-balanced and strategic game modes. Some things you might notice right off the bat compared to previous Halo games is the graphics are pretty darn solid. Definitely the best looking Halo game I've ever played, although the beta was at 720p resolution, and the developers have already said that that's going to increase by the launch of the game. Now Halo 5 is certainly a modern addition to the Halo franchise. It's taking some risks and really updating the franchise in a lot of ways that I really approve of. First of all, it's next gen only. This is definitely a ploy to sell the next gen consoles, but it's also a good thing because they don't have to tone down the game to meet the old gen console requirements. So we're going to have some nice graphics at 60 frames per second, basically get a lot of nice features and not have to worry about backwards compatibility. The other updates include some pretty cool new additions to the way you play multiplayer. First of all, and probably one of the more controversial things, is the fact that you can now aim down sights with any weapon. In previous Halo games, aiming down sight used to be relegated to certain weapons, like sniper rifles. The pistol would usually get an aiming down sight ability, but not everything, like the standard assault rifle usually didn't have aiming down sight, so you're hip firing. And certainly old school Halo fans are kind of annoyed about this aspect here, and it's sort of understandable. If you have a working formula, why change it? But I have to say that I really like the ADS option with every weapon. The developers have designed it in a way so that you don't actually get better accuracy with the weapon. It's not going to shoot more accurate shots when you're aiming down sights. It'll just give you a different sensitivity and allow you to potentially take more precise shots at longer ranges. But again, the weapon is going to maintain the exact same accuracy. So if you want to play and just hip fire all game long, then you can do that just fine. There's also a few disadvantages to aiming down sight. For example, if you take fire while ADSing, your ADS will be canceled and it will put you in a hip fire mode. This can be a little bit jarring mid firefight, and it can definitely throw you off your game. It's also going to give you a much more narrow field of view, and Halo being a very fast-paced game, you have to be aware of all your surroundings and potentially other players coming up to sneak up on you, so you can't really afford to get tunnel vision all the time. So ADS is certainly not something that I'm going to be using all the time, but I'm happy that it's in the game. Now the next major change to multiplayer, and this is a pretty big one as well, is basically your mobility. You now have the option to dash in any direction at any time. You can even be mid-air and do kind of a dash in one direction. Your suit will activate its little jets on the side and allow you to quickly move in one direction. This can be used both offensively and defensively. In fact, it gives you a lot of really good defensive options. It's been difficult in Halo to try and escape firefights, especially if they're not going the way you intended them to. And this gives you the option to potentially escape and meet up with some friends and make it more of an equal firefight, especially if you got lured into, say, a 2v1 or even a 3v1. You can also activate something called stability that allows you to jump in mid-air, and if you aim down sights while in mid-air, it'll activate your suit's stability jets, and you'll hover there for just a second or two, allowing you to aim and take shots at your opponent. This can not only throw off your opponent if they're tracking your movement through the air and all of a sudden you stop, kind of performing a mid-air jukes, if you will, but it also allows you to, say, jump over some cover that you're hiding behind and then hover there in mid-air to take some shots at somebody on the other side. Sprinting is in the game. There's some combos you can do while sprinting and hitting the melee button for some cool melee attacks that do massive damage. You can also slide if you hit crouch while sprinting, giving you just a lot of quick, agile maneuvers that haven't really been previously available in Halo games. You can also clamber up ledges. If you jump up to a ledge that's a little bit higher than you and you hit the jump button again, once you're next to the ledge, you'll grab onto the ledge and pull yourself up very quickly. Now certainly these features aren't new in the realm of shooters. Nobody's going to be wowed by extra mobility. In fact, a lot of these mobility features are very reminiscent of the recent Call of Duty Advanced Warfare game. However, they do seem to fit in really well with the Halo universe. You've got these awesome suits. They have jump jet abilities to allow you to dart around the map quickly. They're not quite overpowered in the sense that they allow you to get up really high, but more just move quickly and feel like you actually are in a super suit. The user interface looks as slick as it ever has. It certainly makes you feel very much like you're inside the suit itself, and with a lot of the guns, when you aim down sight, it really is just like zooming in with your visor, and a cool new targeting reticle appears in front of you, which makes a lot of sense because, in case you haven't noticed, the standard assault rifle doesn't actually have any sort of sight on it, so you really do have to use it in conjunction with some sort of futuristic visor in order to aim more accurately. In terms of the actual combat and gameplay, Halo's gone in a couple different directions, with having very fast time to kill models and then very long time to kill models. Halo 5 is certainly on the faster end. In fact, it might be one of the fastest time to kill Halo games out there, which makes 2v1s much more winnable. This is something that I didn't really like as much in certain Halo games, where if you went up against 2 players, it was very hard to win those firefights because everybody had so much health. Both players could sort of get on mark quickly and take you out. Grenades were very important in trying to win a 2v1 firefight. Grenades are very important in Halo 5 still, but they're not going to be a one-shot kill unless you get them with a sticky grenade. Headshots, of course, do massive damage, and as soon as somebody's shields are down, you should be aiming for the head to get that quick kill. The pistol is powerful, but nowhere near as powerful as it was in Halo 1. The main assault rifle that everybody starts with is actually a really well-balanced weapon, but in true arena shooter fashion, there are other weapons scattered throughout the arenas that basically can provide you certain benefits in other areas. A sniper rifle, for example, can one-shot kill for headshots. You can get little SMGs, which tear people up in close quarters. You can also get the battle rifle, which has got a very cool new look to it. It's burst fire mode and sort of a jack of all trades. It's very good at range, and it can still down people in CQB. There's also a DMR in the beta, and we're also going to be seeing a rocket launcher at some point, although it was not included in the beta. It should be there for the final game. You can't really have Halo multiplayer without some sort of rocket launcher. Now, the beta's been pretty good. Matchmaking's been working, although I will say I did have to wait around quite a while for certain games to start, especially after one round ended and some players dropped from the matchmaking list. It would sometimes take a long time to get other players in there, like maybe 3 or even 4 minutes at times, which isn't too bad, especially if you compare it to the launch woes of the Halo Master Chief Collection. But I gotta say, there's nothing that sort of slows down your momentum and your inspiration or your desire to play a game than having to sit around in a lobby for 3 or 4 minutes. I'd rather just go on, play the next game, have some more fun, and not have to worry about all this sitting around and waiting. The netcode overall felt really solid. I didn't see any players sort of lagging out. I didn't feel like I was getting delayed hits or getting shot behind corners. It felt really, really good, which is something that I feel like I shouldn't have to praise a game for, but in today's market, there's just so many games with crummy, glitchy netcode, and is unfortunately just a growing concern with any modern shooter or modern multiplayer game, so it is something that I do have to spend quite a bit of time analyzing and looking over. The 2 maps provided were really fun. They had good pathing going on. They were balanced perfectly for 4v4 combat, and they are also symmetrical, so there wasn't any issues of one side being better than another. In this regard, the map design is very similar to any previous Halo game. It just looks a hell of a lot better on this new engine. Overall, I have to say that Halo 5 has delivered a really fun multiplayer experience so far in the beta. My only big gripe is that it's not coming out for PC. I would love to see this game on Windows. Microsoft owns Windows, they own Xbox. Why can't we put this game on the PC? Doesn't really make sense to me, but you know, maybe one day. Here's to wishful thinking. Anyway, guys, if you have the opportunity to check out the beta, I highly recommend it. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.